The women who keep younger men aren't the ones trying hardest to please them. They're the ones doing something completely counterintuitive, something that goes against every dating advice you've ever heard. If you're an older woman dating or thinking about dating a younger man, stop everything you're doing. The next 12 minutes could save you from heartbreak that lasts years. I'm Vernon. In this video, I'll reveal 4 things you can touch in a man beyond his body that make him willingly surrender with complete devotion. See, a man's body responds to touch, yes, but his soul responds to something far more powerful. And when you learn to reach those untouchable places within him, when you discover how to caress the parts of him that have been starving for attention, something magical happens. He doesn't just want you, he chooses you. Not for a night, not for a season, but for life. But first, take a moment to hit like and subscribe. That way, you'll never miss practical tips on love, dating, and building fulfilling connections after 60. Besides, it helps me reach more women who are ready for this deeper kind of love. So where do you begin if you want to touch a man in a way that lingers far beyond the physical? You start with the very place that secretly hungers for admiration and stimulation more than anything else. Number 1. Touch his mind. Few women realize that the most magnetic touch a man craves isn't physical. It's when you reach into his mind, into the inner vault of thoughts and aspirations he guards so carefully. You see, men are often praised for what they do, what they accomplish, what they build. But rarely does anyone show genuine curiosity about how they think, what fascinates them when no one's watching, or the ideas that light them up from the inside. Most men long for someone who doesn't just notice their achievements, but takes an interest in the hidden passions and quiet dreams they rarely put into words. When you touch a man's mind, you're acknowledging that his inner world matters. You're saying, "Your thoughts are valuable to me. Your curiosities intrigue me. Your perspective adds a richness to my life." This kind of mental intimacy creates a bond that physical touch simply cannot reach. It's not about agreeing with everything he thinks. It's about being genuinely curious, asking follow-up questions, and showing that his mental landscape is worth exploring. When you challenge his ideas respectfully, when you bring your own thoughts to dance with his, you create intellectual chemistry that keeps him coming back for more. As Socrates wisely reminded us, the unexamined life is not worth living. And when you help a man examine and share his inner world, you give him a rare gift, the freedom to be fully seen beyond his achievements. Make sure you save this video so you can come back to these insights whenever you need them. The mind is just the beginning. Men will share their bodies with many women, but they'll only share their deepest thoughts with someone who has proven she can hold them with care. When you become that woman, the one who treasures his ideas, who remembers what excites him intellectually, who asks about the book he's reading or the documentary that fascinated him, you touch something in him that physical intimacy never could. This isn't about becoming someone you're not. It's about becoming genuinely interested in who he is at the deepest level. When you touch his mind, you're touching his potential, his creativity, his unique way of seeing the world. And once a man feels truly seen and understood in this way, his body becomes secondary to the connection you've built.
And once his mind feels seen, the next door you can open is to his emotions, the hidden feelings he rarely lets anyone touch.
Number 2, touch his hidden emotions. Have you ever noticed how a strong man can crumble at the gentlest touch of emotional understanding? This place you can touch a man that goes far deeper than his physical being is his hidden emotional world. Men are often starved for safe emotional expression, walking through life carrying weights they're not allowed to set down. When a woman creates a space where he can feel without judgment, where he can be vulnerable without losing respect, he bonds to her for life. Society teaches men to be emotional fortresses, strong, unshakable, always in control. But behind that fortress lives a human being with fears, disappointments, hopes, and tender spots he's learned to protect. When you can touch those hidden emotions with gentle acceptance, you reach a part of him that most people never even know exists. I think of Amelia, a 63-year-old teacher who shared her story with me. She'd been dating Robert for several months when she noticed the stress lines around his eyes after a particularly difficult day. Instead of trying to fix his problem or cheer him up, she simply said, "You don't have to hold it all together tonight." For the first time in decades, Robert cried in front of another person. He later told Amelia, "I knew in that moment that you were safe. I knew I could be human with you." This is what touching his emotions really means, creating safety for his humanity. It means seeing past his strength to his tenderness, past his solutions to his struggles, past his composure to his authentic feelings. When you can sit with a man's emotions without trying to change them, without making them about you, without judging them as weakness, you offer him something invaluable, the freedom to be fully himself. You can't touch his emotions if you're afraid of your own. Emotional intimacy requires emotional courage from both people. When you're comfortable with feeling your own anger, sadness, joy, fear, you create space for his feelings too. Sometimes touching his emotions means celebrating his victories with genuine enthusiasm. Sometimes it means holding space for his disappointments without rushing to console. Sometimes it means recognizing when he needs to talk and when he needs comfortable silence. This emotional touching isn't about becoming his therapist or fixing his problems. It's about being present to his full emotional spectrum, showing him that all parts of him are acceptable in your presence. When you can see a man's hidden emotions and respond with understanding rather than judgment, with presence rather than solutions, you touch his soul. Remember what the poet Rumi understood so deeply. The wound is the place where the light enters you. And when you can be present to a man's emotional wounds and joys alike, you become a source of light in his life. The beautiful truth is that men long to be seen emotionally, but they've learned to hide these parts of themselves. When you become the woman who makes it safe for him to feel, who celebrates his emotional depth rather than fearing it, you create a bond that goes far beyond anything physical. After his feelings are no longer hidden, you'll notice what rises to the surface: his unspoken hopes, the aspirations that quietly shape the man he longs to be.
Number 3. Touch his aspirations. Carl Jung once observed that the privilege of a lifetime is being who you are. And when you can touch a man's aspirations, you're touching his journey toward becoming who he's meant to be. Another place you can reach in a man that transforms everything is his aspirations. Not just his current goals, but his deepest dreams about who he wants to become. Men surrender completely to women who see not only who they are today, but who they have the potential to become tomorrow. Every man carries within him an image of his highest self, the person he dreams of being when all his growth is complete, when all his potential is realized. Most people in his life see only his current reality, his job, his achievements, his present circumstances. But when you can see and touch his aspirations, when you believe in his becoming, even when he doubts it himself, you reach something in him that changes everything. This isn't about false encouragement or empty praise. It's about recognizing the seeds of greatness within him and nurturing them with your belief. When you say, "I see the leader in you, even when you're still learning to lead," or "I believe in the artist in you, even when your canvas is still blank," you touch his aspirations in a way that ignites his soul. When you touch a man's aspirations, you become more than a partner. You become a witness to his becoming, a believer in his journey, a supporter of his growth. You see past his current limitations to his expanding possibilities. You celebrate not just what he's accomplished, but what he's growing toward. Most people, even those who love us, often get comfortable with who we are right now. They resist our growth because change feels unsettling or threatening. When you can embrace and encourage his evolution, when you're excited about who he's becoming, rather than trying to keep him exactly as he is, you offer him something rare and precious. When was the last time someone truly believed in your dreams, not just supported them? Share in the comments below how it felt to have someone see your potential before you fully saw it yourself. This kind of aspirational touching isn't about fixing him or pushing him toward goals. It's about seeing the magnificence he's growing into and reflecting that vision back to him, especially during moments when he can't see it himself. But even dreams and emotions can't sustain love without one final ingredient: the feeling of absolute safety in your presence. Number 4. Touch his sense of safety and trust. The deepest surrender comes when a man feels safe to be fully himself, unjudged, untested, unafraid of abandonment. The fourth and most profound place you can touch a man is his sense of safety and trust. This might surprise you because we often think of men as the ones who provide safety. But every human being, regardless of gender, needs to feel safe in love. For men, this safety means knowing he can be imperfect without losing your respect, vulnerable without losing your attraction, and authentic without losing your presence. My best friend, Anne, a 64-year-old artist who understood this intuitively. During a moment of deep conversation with her partner Michael, she looked into his eyes and said, "I love you deeply, but I'm whole even without you. You don't have to perform for my love or earn my presence. You already have both." Michael later told me, "That was the moment I knew she was the one. She loved me but didn't need me desperately, and that made me feel completely safe to be myself." This is the paradox of touching his safety. You create security by being secure yourself. When you love from wholeness rather than neediness, when you choose him rather than desperately needing him, you create the safest possible space for his authentic self to emerge.
Safety in love means he doesn't have to be on all the time. He doesn't have to be the perfect man, the eternal provider, the constant problem solver. With you, he can have bad days, make mistakes, show uncertainty, even fail temporarily, and know that your love remains steady. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "The only gift is a portion of thyself." When you offer a man the gift of your steady, authentic presence, you create a space where he feels safe enough to stop performing and simply be. That kind of presence touches something deeper than desire. It reaches his very soul. But creating safety isn't about having no boundaries or accepting poor treatment. True safety comes from consistent love paired with clear, kind boundaries. It means he knows what to expect from you, that you'll communicate directly rather than punishing silently, that you'll work through problems together rather than threatening to leave at the first sign of difficulty. When you touch his sense of safety, you're saying, you can be human here, you can grow here, you can make mistakes here, you can be scared here, you can be uncertain here, and I'll still be here, not because I'm desperate, but because I choose to be. This safety allows him to drop his guard, to stop performing, to stop trying so hard to be worthy of love and simply accept that he already is. When a man feels this kind of safety with you, his surrender isn't forced or manipulated. It's willing, joyful, complete. Share this video with a friend who might need to hear this message about creating the kind of love that goes deeper than the surface. When you touch these deeper places in a man, his mind, his emotions, his aspirations, his safety, his body may respond for a night, but his soul stays forever.
A man doesn't surrender because of passion alone. He surrenders because of peace, presence, and possibility. He surrenders because you've touched the parts of him that no one else even knew existed. We've explored 4 places you can touch in a man that go far beyond the physical. His mind, through genuine curiosity and intellectual connection. His emotions, through offering space for his full humanity. His aspirations, through recognizing who he's becoming. And his sense of safety, through loving from wholeness instead of need. When you master touching these deeper places, you discover something beautiful. You don't have to chase love or manufacture chemistry or perform for affection. Instead, you become the kind of woman that a good man naturally surrenders to, not because you've captured him, but because you've created a space where his authentic self can finally come home. The great teacher Joseph Campbell knew this when he said, "The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek." And when you have the courage to go deeper than the physical surface, you find the treasure of true, intimate connection. Do you have a story about discovering deeper connection beyond the physical, or a question about creating this kind of emotional intimacy? Share it in the comments below. Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more wisdom on creating lasting love and deep emotional connection, especially in this beautiful season after 60. Check the description for more uplifting content that will resonate deeply with your heart. And I'm Vernon. Thanks for watching my video.